We have two charges here, P and Q, and you see that there are electric field lines coming from the two charges. So they have two statements. The first one is that the charge on P is smaller than the charge on Q. So let's see if it's correct. So we know that the number of lines coming from a charge shows relatively the electric field. So if you count the number of lines on P, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 lines. And then for charge Q, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 16 lines here. So we see that P has fewer lines than Q. So that means the charge on P is smaller than the charge on Q. So that is correct. The second one is that the electrostatic force on P is smaller than the force on Q. So now we go back to Coulomb's law, where you have two charges, and we look at the electrostatic force. So if you remember, the electrostatic force is equal and opposite. So let's look at if P is positive or negative. Let's look at the direction of the arrow. So if the arrow is going outward, that means it is a positive charge, so P is positive. And then also for Q, you see that the arrows are pointing outward. That means it is also a positive charge. So now if they are positive, they repel. So we know that the force here, force on Q because of P, and then we have force on P because of Q. But from Coulomb's law, we know that as for magnitudes, we have FPQ is equal to FQP. So going back to second statement, it says the electrostatic force on P is smaller than the force on Q. That's not correct. They are equal. So this is not correct. So if we go to our choices from A through D, we know that only the first statement is correct. So our answer is A.